Of all the legendary animals of art, folklore, and literature, the unicorn is the one with the greatest hold on our imaginations. Nancy Hathaway, the Unicorn. Hello everypony, my name is Crimson Quill, and welcome to my falsetto video of My Little Pony InDepth, where I take a closer look at the lore and possible inspirations for the ponies we love. In preparation for this video, I did some research into the lore and history of the unicorn, and was a little surprised by what I found. Now, I know what we've always thought the unicorn to look like, a pure white horse with a single long horn protruding from the center of its head. And you can find a lot of examples of this. But that was not always so. In the book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 5, Daniel had a vision. And as I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west over the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a noble horn between his eyes. I find it interesting that he says goat. Nothing at all like the Rarity or Twilight we know. But a goat, and he even mentions that it was a male goat. Most in today's time see unicorns as being primarily female. There are other descriptions of that of the oryx, which is an antelope with two long thin horns projecting from its head. From a profile perspective, it looks something like a horse with a single horn, even though the horn projects backwards, not forwards, as is how we believe the unicorn to be. Then there's the rhinoceros, or rather an extinct species of it, the Leishmaniatherium. It was a huge Eurasian mammal native to the steppes, south of the range of the woolly rhinoceros of the Ice Age Europe. It had a rather large horn. However, looking at it makes it a little hard to believe it could support such a horn. But according to the Nordic family book and science writer Wiley Ley, the animal may have survived long enough to be remembered in the legends that European people had been a huge black bull with a single horn in its forehead. To support this claim, the 13th century traveler Marco Polo claimed to have seen a unicorn in Java. His description is this: scarcely smaller than elephants, they have the hair of buffalo and feet like an elephant. They have a single large black horn in the middle of their forehead. They have the head like a wild boar's. Sound familiar? Even a child would say that's a rhino. A deer with a single horn in the center of its head, nicknamed Unicorn, was born a year ago in captivity in Italy. Time magazine, June 12, 2008. This is another possibility of where unicorns might have come from. Genetic disorders are very possible, even in the animal kingdom, as evidence shows. Single antlered deer are not uncommon, but the placement of the horn in the middle is very unusual. The scientific director of Rome Zoo said, generally, the horn is on one side of the head, rather than being at the center. This looks like a complicated case. The director also acknowledges that the placement of the antler could have been the result of some type of trauma in the life of the deer. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Throughout history, the unicorn has had a following as far back as biblical times, as I mentioned earlier. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, unicorn horns were widely sought after. They were believed to hold magical properties that they could heal and detect poisons. The throne chair of Denmark was made of unicorn horns, though they were almost certainly gnarl tusks, the same material used for ceremonial cups, which was believed to neutralize poisons. In the brony fandom, we know alicorns to be the princesses of Equestria, winged unicorns as they were called beforehand. The term, however, came from the name of the substance that the unicorn horn was made of, alicorn. And this substance is why the horns were so sought after. It was this substance that held the magical properties. Cups were made from alicorn for kings and given as gifts. They were usually made of ivory or walrus ivory. The entire horn was very precious in the Middle Ages and were often really gnarl tusks. The unicorn, through its intemperance and not knowing how to control itself, for the love it bears to fair maidens forgets its ferocity and wildness, and laying aside all fear, it will go up to a seated damsel, and go to sleep in her lap, and thus the hunters take it. Leonardo da Vinci. Unicorn hunts have been depicted in a lot of art. One such piece is the famous late Gothic series of 7 tapestry hangings, The Hunt of the Unicorn. They depict the story with a slightly confusing ending, being that in the 6th tapestry, the unicorn appears dead while they bring it to the castle. But in the last one, the unicorn is alive and well, tied to a pomegranate tree. I have one last thing to go through with this, but if you have stayed this long, thank you. And if you like this video, leave a like or a comment and let me know. Now, on to heraldry. Heraldry is a broad term which encompasses the design, display, and study of armor bearings, more commonly known as a coat of arms. Unicorns have often been depicted on these, as a horse with a goat's cloven hooves and beard, a lion's tail, and a slender spiral horn on its forehead. The non-equine attributes may be replaced with equine ones, like in the images shown. In heraldry, the unicorn is best known as the symbol of Scotland. The unicorn was chosen because it was seen as a proud and hardy creature which would die before it would be captured, just as the Scots would fight to remain sovereign and unconquered. Later, with the Union of England and Scotland in 1707, the arms of the kingdom was changed to show it being supported by a unicorn along with an English lion. 2 versions of the royal arms exist, one for each country, and each emphasizing aspects of the country that uses it. And that's it for this video. Again, if you want to see more, give me a like and a comment. I plan on doing more, so you could subscribe to get news on it. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a great day.